Hey everyone, this is Dr. Chris with Radio of Horror, 91.3 FM, WCUW in Worcester, and this is my third Supernatural overview video. In this video, we're going to be covering Supernatural Seasons 5 and 6. So if you remember at the end of Season 4, Dean and Sam unleashed Lucifer from hell, and they become a target for both heaven and heaven, as they want them to become the vessels for both Lucifer and the Archangel Michael, the eldest of the Archangels, and the one who was responsible for casting Lucifer down. They have to encounter the four horsemen, death, pestilence, famine, and sloth, greed. No, I forget. So they have to counter the four horsemen of the apocalypse. Bobby gets crippled this season, and Castiel gets brought back, and they also fight the Antichrist. They run into Ellen and Joe again, which is fantastic, but unfortunately they die. They also run into Rufus again, which is great. But unfortunately, Rufus lives into the season 6. But Ellen and Joe unfortunately die this season. We do lose Ellen and Joe, and we have Joe and Dean have a touching little kiss between them. One of the best episodes of season 5 is the real Ghostbusters, where they get a message from the obsessed fan who is so in love with Chuck, and they run out to they find out that the text didn't come from Chuck; it comes from this obsessed fan, and they have to rescue. They think they're going to rescue him, but they're not. It's a convention based on the book series from season 4 of Supernatural, and they meet a couple of cosplaying people dressed up as Sam and Dean, and they team up with them in order to find this mysterious kind of ghost that's haunting the convention scene. It really weirds out Sam and Dean because they're basically noticing everything that is their lives being done in a convention. They're not really happy with Chuck about it. But it's such a fun-filled episode, and you learn a little secret about the two cosplayers doing Sam and Dean, which is really, really cute. This is also the season that Kim Rhodes first appears as Jody Mills, which is really cool. She's a sheriff in the town that Bobby lives in and doesn't know anything about this supernatural stuff, and herself lost her son recently, and he comes back, and it's quite the episode where you have a lot of these kind of dead people popping back up. Another great episode is Changing Channels, where we have Sam and Dean going into alternate universes by the Trickster God. They're in like a ER type setting. They're in a Knight Rider episode, which is really a lot of fun. Sam and Dean admit themselves to a mental hospital in order to help out an old friend of their father's. The song remains the same. With the help of Castiel, Sam and Dean travel back to 1978, and they meet their mother and father. And of course, their mother remembers Dean from the last time he time traveled back then. And they're trying to stop Anna, a angel that Dean hooked up with in season 2, who he got busy with in the back of the Impala, from killing his parent, hence preventing the war from ever happening. They do an episode called My Bloody Valentine, where they have to hunt down Cupid on Valentine's Day as people are killing each other, which is funny because the actor who plays Dean, of course, was in a movie called My Bloody Valentine 3D around the same time that Jared Padalecki was in the Friday the 13th movie. My Bloody Valentine episode came out in January, and then that February we had the Friday the 13th remake. Dean thinks the only way to stop, of course, Lucifer is to say yes. And the angels decide they don't need him anymore. They'll resurrect their dead brother Adam, and they do. And Adam does say yes to Michael and becomes the new vessel for Michael, which is unfortunate. Lucifer summons all of the gods to a big banquet. So you have Loki and Kadesh and Kali and Zeus. They're all there, and they find out the Archangel Gabriel is there and to warn them that Lucifer will kill them all. And you also find out that Gabriel has actually been the trickster the whole time too, so he's the Archangel Gabriel, and whether or not he's dead or not at the end of the episode is always left up for interpretation. One of my favorite characters to show up is Death, and Dean meets Death at a diner to have some Chicago deep dish pizza, and that is fantastic. It's one of the best little quirky moments of the season. You have Dean sitting down with Death and having a great pizza. It's fantastic. I love it. It's Death becomes one of my favorite characters of the show. They play the song called "Oh Death." "Oh Death" is a cover by Jennifer Titus. "Oh Death" is a traditional Appalachian dirge that was made famous by Ralph Stanley in the 1920s and was featured in the 2000 movie "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?" In the final episode, Dean and Bobby with some help from Crowley and Death's Ring, the Archangel rings, including Death's Ring, confront Michael and Lucifer. Sam has given himself up to Lucifer in order to try and stop him because he believes that from within Lucifer he can stop him, and he's able to do so. And there's like a big fight in the cemetery. You have Sam, Dean, Cass, Crowley, not Crowley. Crowley, of course, doesn't show up there, but Crowley helped give Bobby back the use of his leg. Lucifer kills Bobby. He kills Dean. He kills Castiel. Sam plunges him and Lucifer into the portal to hell, and then Dean goes and lives happily ever after with Lisa and Ben. And the final shot is we see Sam standing there staring at Dean outside the house. Originally, this was supposed to be the end of Supernatural, but Eric Kripke was going to leave the show, and he did. And the new showrunner became Sarah Gamble through season 6 and 7, I believe. Because the ratings in season 5 are so huge, Supernatural continues. Supernatural continues now. I mean, we're in its 11th season, and it got renewed for a 12th season. Unbelievable how long the show's going on for. So some of the bonus material that you get in season 5 are Supernatural Apocalypse Survival Guides, Bobby's exclusive video collection, the Ghostfacers web series. Now, this was a web series that was developed for the CW with the Return of the Ghostfacers, and a kind of like mini little season they did, taking place after the events of encountering Sam and Dean in the season 3 found footage episode. You get writer's producer commentary on the end, unaired scene from episode 9, The Real Ghostbusters, and of course the famous Supernatural gag reel, which is fantastic. Lots of good stuff on the season 5 box set, totally worth it checking out. And now we roll right into season 6, where Dean is living the peaceful life for the last year with Lisa and Bobby. And then Sam shows up back up at his doorstep. And it's really Sam. It's not a demon. It's not a ghost or anything like that. And they contact Cass, and Cass doesn't know why Sam has returned. Little did we know, we find out a little later on this is all kind of untrue. The best episode through beginning of season 4 is where we go to the Weekend at Bobby's house. Weekend at Bobby's is an entire episode in Bobby's perspective. We don't have anyone else around him. And it's basically Bobby's day-to-day activities while he's working at his house. And the boys are out hunting demons and monsters. He's got a neighbor that keeps coming over that wants his attention, this woman about his age, and we get, she gets like splattered with blood as Bobby's trying to kill this thing, and then Rufus is calling him for help and trying to be tracked down. And then, of course, he's got to keep Rufus hidden as Jody is tracking Rufus because she now understands that there's other things that go bump in the night. But Rufus is up to no good. Not up to no good, but he's up to no good in the eyes of the law. What he's doing is good. Bobby, of course, doesn't have his soul in his own hands. And this Weekend at Bobby's episode, he has to get his soul back from Crowley, the King of Hell. And they find out where Crowley is buried. His real body is buried because Crowley's a demon. And they dig it up. Now, let me just mention that Crowley, of course, is played by Mark Shepard. He becomes one of the most central characters to the show at this point now. We didn't get a lot of him right now, but in like season 5, he builds up more. Season 6, really big character. As you know, has a couple appearances in season 7, but seasons 8, 9, 10, 11, Crowley is like one of the big characters now. He's as important as Castiel. He's here throughout the rest of the entire show's run. He's not one of those characters that definitely just goes away, and he's one of the huge fan favorite character. I love him. I got to meet him at the Rhode Island Comic Con. Here's some pictures right here you can see in the video of him. Really fun character. The really great actor. He's been on the X-Files. He was on Battlestar Galactica up to the point when he comes on the show. He'd been doing Battlestar Galactica for a couple seasons. He was a lawyer that actually helped defend Gaius Baltar. In fact, the woman who plays Kanish, the six-armed goddess, Kali, the six-armed goddess in the episode where all the different gods meet, that is also an actress from Battlestar Galactica. She's played by Rekha Sharma, again, who played Tori, one of the final 5 Cylons on Battlestar Galactica. Castiel is holding a civil war with the Archangel Raphael, as now that Michael and Lucifer are trapped in the cage. We also find out that Sam came back with no soul. He's been hanging around with the Campbells, the relatives of his mother, led by his grandfather, who's alive. And his grandfather was brought back by Crowley to help him in his war in collecting souls. It's kind of a dumb plot line because they literally don't know what to do with any of these characters. They're really killed off one by one by one, and by halfway through the season, the Grandpa Winchester, Grandpa played by Pileggi from the X-Files, is no longer with us. He's gone. Christian Campbell is a character on the show, and he's played by a longtime guest of my show, Corin Nemec, who has been on the, of course, Stargate show. Stephen Williams returns to play Rufus one more time in a very kind of homage to The Thing, and unfortunately we lose Rufus as well this season, so he gets killed off. Sam and Dean go to the real world in an episode called The French Mistake, and they find out that Sam is married to real life Ruby. The actress who played Ruby in the season 4, Genevieve Padalecki, and they keep encountering the characters of from their own world, and it's actually actors playing them. So they meet the real Misha Collins. Eric Kripke is in it, and he gets killed off because an angel actually teleports with them to the real world, where they're nothing but a TV series. That's really funny to see Eric Kripke get killed off. Dean points out that the pretentiousness of a producer who named Bobby Singer after himself. That's a lot of fun. They go to Frontierland to try and defeat Eve, who's the mother of all demons. They need to track down Samuel Colt. The Colt resurfaces, and they find out the gun was made from an asteroid, and it's the only thing that can kill. They need the Colt, they need the Colt to be re-immunized. What the Old West looks like, it's not quite what Dean had originally imagined. We find out that the truth behind everything that's been going on the entire season, that Castiel orchestrated Sam's return, and he made a deal with Crowley for souls because he needs to win the war in heaven against Raphael. Without God and without Michael, the heaven is in shambles, and it's absolute civil war, and Castiel needs as much help as he can get. A demon kidnaps Ben and Lisa to use against Dean, and Dean has to team up with someone he doesn't want to in order to free them. Unfortunately, Lisa gets really injured, and Dean has Castiel wipe her memory clean as well as healing her. In order to get Sam's soul back in his body, Dean had to summon Death, and in order to do that, to put the soul back in his body, Death wanted a favor from Dean to be Death for one day. One other really great thing about this episode I got to point out is that there's a doctor that kills Dean, puts him in kind of a temporary coma, death-like coma, so he can find the Reaper to help him. The doctor is played by Robert Englund, Freddy Krueger. It's so cool. It's a really cameo appearance. He mentions a little thing about his father, but that's it. It's just in the beginning of that episode. You hope he'd maybe be in the whole episode. You hope maybe he comes back for another episode because it's Robert Englund, and everyone loves Robert Englund. It's a great cameo appearance. Really, really good. Dean completely screws it up. He ends up teaming up with the Reaper that originally was supposed to reap him back in season 2. Death goes ahead and reinstalls Sam's soul in his body, but the soul has been trapped in the cage with Lucifer and Michael for so long. It has been tortured, torn apart, and put back together so many times. There's so much unbelievable horror going on in Sam's head. And so he puts up a wall around the soul, the memory, so he won't remember anything. Castiel breaks the wall down in order to stop Dean from interfering with his plans, and he basically opens up the gateway to purgatory and lets loose all of the bad stuff inside purgatory inside him, and he becomes like a new god. And that's pretty much how it ends. There's a lot of betrayal this season. A lot of people don't like this season. There's some mixed feelings about it here and there. But, there's a few good episodes, but the whole take on Cass becoming a really bad guy is not what I enjoy that much. I like my Castiel the way he is. I don't, everyone obviously goes through some, bad story arc here and there, but his was a little bit too overdone. On the Blu-ray, you have some exclusive Blu-ray features, so I definitely recommend picking up the Blu-ray. You have The Hunter's Guide to Season 6, an interactive hunter journal full of exclusive features on the production cast and mythology. Now, this thing's almost like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours long, so there's a lot of material there. selectable The French Mistakes trivia track. So basically, this is like a pop-up little trivia thing with all the things that they could point out about the episode. Jensen Ackles, a director's journey. The series star works behind the camera on Weekend at Bobby's. That's the other thing. Jensen Ackles actually directs the episode of Weekend at Bobby's. Supernatural and the Quest for the Soul. All Hell Breaks Loose Parts 1 and 2 bonus episode from the Supernatural anime series, which we discussed in our first video, so if you want to go there and check it out, you can. There's 2 commentaries on 2 episodes, The French Mistake, alternate takes and outtakes, and of course the Supernatural gag reel as well. So some of the music that you get from Supernatural Season 5, which I always love covering because there's always a lot of great music. Of course, you have the Carry On My Wayward Son. You have Thunderstruck by AC/DC for Season 5, Episode 1. The Curious Case of Dean Winchester, in which Dean Winchester is aged to like 25 years older, so now he's in like his 50s or 60s. We have Early Blues by APM and I Want All My Money Back by Lonnie Brooks. In the episode Dark Side of the Moon from Season 5, Sam Dean actually gets shot and killed and sent to heaven. You have Knocking on Heaven's Door by Bob Dylan, which is a lot of fun. You have that song I mentioned, Oh Death by Jen Titus, which is fantastic. Love that song to death. In episode 2 of season 6, 2.5 Men, you have Smoke on the Water, which is played at the end of the episode when Dean puts the Impala back into play at the end of the episode, which is a lot of fun. You have Kenny Rogers the Gambler for Weekend at Bobby. You have Aerosmith's Back in the Saddle in the episode Like a Virgin. You have Space Odyssey by David Bowie in the Clap Your Hands If You Believe. This was the episode where they thought they were really jumping the shark by introducing aliens, but it's not aliens. I'm not going to give away what it is, but it's definitely not aliens. It's the X-File kind of episode, hence why the opening credit sequence looks like the X-Files. The episode is a lot of fun and great for some good laughs. But there you go. That is my review of season 5 and 6 of Supernatural. Thanks for tuning in, guys. And we will have season 7 and 8 of Supernatural coming up next month in May. So we're going to try and do at least 2 of these seasons. So one of these overview videos per month. And so thanks for checking out my channel. Please like, subscribe, and comment on the video if you could. That'd be awesome. And tune in next time, guys, for my next Supernatural overview.